Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Viewers, you are watching Bisaat and I'm Shakil Ahmed Rami. So everybody know that Iran has been attacked by Israel and USA. It is illegal and it has no justification on the legal side or the moral side. Anyhow, so they have attacked. So it has inflicted different types of the cost. It is creating some social problems. It will definitely be creating environmental problem, political problems. But today we will be talking about what would be the economic cost of that stupidity which has been committed. So we will be talking about how this conflict can impact economic activities in the region and export and imports, especially export of the crude oil, and what would be impact of that so on the international prices. So these are very pertinent questions. It is also very relevant for Pakistan because yesterday we have seen the government have increased the fuel prices 55 rupees per liter. That is a massive increase in our recent history. For that discussion, we have invited two very special guests. One is Dr. Amr Hassan. He is an economist and international expert from Iran. And our other guest is Dr. Hassan Askari. He is the vice chairman of BRICS Institute, Sweden. He also he belongs to Iraq, but he is living in Sweden for decades. So he has both perspective from the Europe and the region. So we have invited both of these guests to talk about economic cost. Be reminded, we will be our main focus would be the economic cost. So Dr. Amr, I will start with you. So what is the economic cost you think so? If you look at the ground situation in our Iran, if you look at the situation in the region, especially with Iran, what would be the economic cost for Iran and for the world?
Yeah, you see, this war more than 7 days ago has started. And nowadays we see the impacts on world economy and regional economy. First of all, is closing the Strait of Hormuz.
Yep.
You know that Iran, before starting this war, warns the United States and Israel regimes that if you started a war against Iran, this war is going to be a regional war. And nowadays we see that. So after the Strait of Hormuz has been closed, a lot of analysis in the world warns that if this conflict persists, energy costs, inflation, and economic pressure could rise across Europe, Asia, and other countries, and spreading to United States. You see the price of oil. The price of oil today is jumped more than $94 per barrel.
Oh.
So it's going to jump in another days, in the future days, more than $100. So it's a very disaster for Europe and US. And you see the urea, if you want to think about the price of urea, you know, urea is the base of a lot of chemical things. I don't know about food security in the world.
Yes.
Nowadays, urea prices is rising more than 50%.
Oh, that is a very big, that is a very big increase.
Yeah, increased more than 50% in the past week. And you know, 35% of urea exporters worldwide pass through the Strait of Hormuz.
Okay,
and,
so prices has been increased by 50%, and 35% of the total global trade is going through this Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, it means that the importance of the Strait of Hormuz, you know, it means that the importance of Iran's geography, Iran's economically. So another aspect that we see the impacts, the economic impacts in the world is the stock market, the bond market, I don't know, the crypto market. You know, these markets in plunge. In fact, that, for example, the US stock market lost over $800 billion in value in single day.
Okay.
Yesterday, Bloomberg reported that. that in a single day, the U.S. Stock market lost over $8 billion. So it's a very big disaster for United States. If they want to continue, they want to keep on this war for a long time. Absolutely, United States, Europe, and Asian countries, especially Japan, South Korea, they're going to have damage and loss benefits. But Iran now is ready for a long time war. But we warn the regional countries, our neighbors, that we have collaboration, we have friendship to stop this war. It's our strategy in Iran that we don't like war, but America and Israel regime started this war. United States and Israel regime attacked Iran.
I will come back to you, Dr. Amr. Now I have to include Dr. Hassan in the discussion. So, Dr. Hassan, you are just listening to the Dr. Amr. So, how do you see? So, what is happening on the economic front after the Iran war?
Yeah, well, I agree with much of what Dr. Ahmed said about the impact, economic impact. I mean, you mentioned the question of urea, this chemical, which is a lot of it is produced in the Gulf. And urea is very important for fertilizer, production of fertilizer. So what we can expect, and experts are expecting, is an international food crisis similar to the one which was caused when the Ukraine war started. Because a lot of the fertilizer used in the world, especially in the global south, in Africa and Asia, comes from Ukraine and Russia. And now the basic elements of the fertilizer production, the urea, is also being blocked, but also the price of natural gas. Natural gas is very important for the fertilizer production. So we will have a food crisis.
So you are just foreseeing a food crisis is looming now.
Yeah. So this we have. Then we have, for example, different regions will be affected differently. Talking about food, the Gulf countries, 85% of their food is imported, mostly by ships through the Hormuz Strait.
Yes.
And by the way, they import a lot of fresh food from Iran itself. So if that stops, we will have a real crisis in the Gulf countries. The Central Asian countries who are landlocked, they have depended a lot on United Arab Emirates ports and the Iranian ports. You remember the Iranian Bandar Abbas port was connected through a railway to Bafq and Mashhad and to Turkmenistan. And that became a very important logistics line for the Central Asian nations to the international markets. That is also now blocked, so they will be affected in that way. But internationally, of course, Dr. Ahmed mentioned the increase.
Dr. Amr Hassan.
Ahmed, okay, sorry. So here in Europe, for example, we're already suffering from increase in the electricity cost because when the Russian gas was mostly stopped, the price of gas, which is the basis for a lot of electricity generation, especially Germany, the economic engine of Europe, has increased. But in the past week, if oil prices internationally increased by 20-30%, here in Europe, the natural gas price went by 100% up because the EU nations have no alternatives to go to.
And it would be very good market for the USA. So USA will try to exploit the situation.
Yes, but the United States cannot supply all the energy the EU needs. Much in the past few years since the Ukraine war, many EU countries went to Qatar to import Qatari liquefied natural gas. That was stopped. So we have an increase in the electricity bill in all over Europe, which means a lot of industries will be affected. And if this thing continues, many industries will be shut down.
Hassan, I especially want to ask you, because you are very well connected with the business community in Sweden and in the Europe also. So how the European people are looking at it? One is, our perspective is coming from their leadership, Another perspective is their people's perspective. How the people are looking in the Europe and what they are thinking about this war.
Yeah, well, the leadership has made enormous mistake because this whole attack on Iran was based on a miscalculation that this will be a very quick decapitation operation and regime change and everything will be settled in less than 1 week. And this was the big miscalculations. The leaders in Europe believed that, they supported it, and now they are seeing it's not going to happen the way they want. Now, the people in Europe, they look at their living standard, but also they look at their leaders that have been made major miscalculations, including the tension with Russia, tension with China, and now supporting this war is affecting their livelihood at home every day because the electricity bill has went through the roof. Even here in Sweden, where we don't use natural gas, we have nuclear power and hydropower. But because we have a common European electricity market, so the electricity companies, they sell the electricity we generate here to Germany.
Okay.
And thus they increase the bill for the price here in Sweden. So the people here don't see this positively. Of course, most people don't really understand the complexities of the conflict in the region, the nature of the Iranian government, the conflict within the U.S. and Europe, the U.S. and Iran. But they say, why are you dragging us into a new crisis?
Okay, Hassan, I will come back to you. I will come back to you to talk more about the BRI and impact of this war on the Belt and Road Initiative, how it will be impacting. Now I'm going, Dr. Amir, can you hear me, Amir?
Yeah.
So that is one perspective, the global economic cost. The other perspective is the economic cost for Iran. Because if we have seen in the last 7 days, the USA and Israel, they are bombarding different cities in Iran. Definitely it will be impacting the other general infrastructure, transportation infrastructure, electricity, or the production facilities of oil and the gas. How do you see that cost? That is, how much it is impacting Iran?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that United States and Israel regime attacks on civilians, hospitals, schools.
Yep.
You saw that more than 160 elementary students in Minab City were killed.
Yes.
By United States attack. So they are, I don't know, military bases. They are, army or IRGC? No.
No justification. No justification at any level.
What?
No justification for this act. This is the crime against humanity to kill the children.
Yes. And every day. For example, yesterday, Israel attacked some hospitals in Iran city, in Tehran. But Iran's economy, I believe that is resilient. And you know that more than 20 years, Islamic Republic of Iran is under the strongest economic sanctions and maximum pressures that United States pushing Iran. For these reasons, Iran's economy is very resilient, is very strong. And nowadays you see that the inflation in Iran is not changed. And the currency in Iran is stable. So why? In war, in a very big war, we see the stability in our economy. If you come Iran, the civilians, Iranian people living normally. They go to shop and they want to buy everything that they needed. It's very normal. We don't see any, I don't know.
But my fundamental question is for you, Dr. Amir. So if we look the oil export of Iran, especially toward China, so 80% of your crude oils go to China. So will China keep that line intact, or the Iran keep that line intact? If it is broken, so what would be impact on economy?
No, Iran and China has a very close relationship, especially on economy. and China and China's tankers and oil tankers, I don't know, China commercial vessels can go and can come to Persian Gulf. Especially they imported oil from Iran, and this transit from the Strait of Hormuz is normal, and Chinese vessels can come in this region. But Iran warns other countries, especially United States vessels, European vessels, and some oil tankers that help the America and Israel that attack in Iran, they can't allow to come in Strait of Hormuz.
Okay, Hassan, coming back to you. I was just talking about the economic cost for Iran. So how do you see if their export is being impacted, or definitely it's a strategy of Israel and USA, if they are attacking hospitals and education institutions, definitely they can also target these other production facilities. If that happen, so how do you see the picture?
Well, I think there is as your guest said, there's a certain resilience in the Iranian system, and also it's very important that people understand that Iran has one of the best educational systems in the whole Muslim world. They are the number one in production of scientific papers in all Muslim countries.
Yes.
But also internationally, Iranian universities have been ranking 15, 20 internationally, which is not very bad, very good. And therefore, Iran has built a resilient infrastructure, scientific, industrial, agricultural bases because they have gone through sanctions for 40 years. So they had to rely on themselves to provide the basic goods, but also achieve a certain scientific, technological, and industrial excellence to provide the goods they cannot get from outside, which has been a blessing, as they say, with the sanctions, is that the Iranians have learned how to produce these things at home. But of course, with all the attacks, the physical attacks on the Iranian infrastructure and also on the cities and civilians, this has both a physical and a psychological impact. But I would like to discuss actually Iran's role in the whole Belt and Road. And
we will discuss this one, Hassan, in the second part. But right now, I just want to focus on if they are attacking or they are targeting the Iranian oil facilities, how it can impact the Iranian economy and the global economy.
Yes, of course. I mean, internally, it's not difficult to understand that if you attack the infrastructure in the country, power generation, water, as happened in my country, Iraq, in 1990, but also in 2003. They started by attacking the power generation, the water treatment systems, and that meant that people did not have electricity, did not have clean water, people died.
And you can expect anything from them, because what they did in Gaza, what they did in Iraq, and other part, Libya, you can expect anything. That's why I'm putting this question again and again.
Yes, and I think this, well, of course, we hope this will end very soon, that wise people, major powers will intervene and show that the United States and Israel that they cannot win this war without plunging the whole world into death and destruction. So this is really a tragic situation. I mean, Iranians will be affected, of course. It's not that secret. But this is the nature of the conflict now. And but as I said, the Iranians have a certain resilience to these pressures because they have learned from the past experience that they have to rely on themselves for production of basic goods to be able to
And they are very
manage.
good agriculture production, food production system. That is a basic requirement to survive and to build that resilience. So, Hassan, we will come back to you. Now we have to take a short break, and we will be back in 1 minute for this short break. Thank you.